Sequels, you guys know what they are. If the first movie didn't do so well, it's a second chance at success. But if the first movie was an absolute blockbuster, well, then expectations get really high. The higher you are, however, well, the harder it is that you fall. And Mitsubishi had one of the biggest hits in the form of the Xpander. So the question is, how exactly do you top that? Well, this is the answer slash sequel slash expansion to the Xpander. This is the 2020 Xpander Cross. Look familiar? Now, when the Xpander first hit the scene, it captured the hearts of many. Its dynamic shield design was definitely a head-turner, and now on the Xpander Cross, with so many more additions, it still is a head-turner, in a form of speaking. There's a lot going on in the front, like these LED DRLs, LED headlamps, and the LED fog lamps, which all flank a very glossy grille that looks like it has zipper teeth. And it's also got a faux skid plate, just to kind of tell you exactly how rugged this thing can get. Under the hood, you're looking at a 1.5-liter 4-cylinder gasoline engine mated to a 4-speed automatic transmission that produces 103 horses and 141 Nm of torque. That may not sound like a lot, but it definitely is to propel the automobile forward, back, and in any which way that you want it to go. In the city, it gets about 9 kilometers per liter, and when that clears up, you're looking at about 12 to 13 actually. Now, when that clears up and you go to the highway, you're doing it about 16 and a half. Not exactly stellar, but it's not bad considering that this car's gearing, this is really hot. This car's gearing is geared more for a peppy drive. That's hot! Wow, that's hot. That's really hot, that's really hot, that's really hot. Now down the side, you've got a lot, and I do mean a lot, of black plastic. But at the very least, you know that it won't jam on you in the jungles of Vietnam. Well, so to speak. You've got 17-inch wheels with 55 series tires, 225 millimeters of ground clearance, which is about 20 more than the previous model, or rather the sister Xpander. You've got chrome in the center, you've got silver up, down, and down below. There's so much shine on this thing that it's like when Gino Rufino from AutoDeal takes off his helmet. It's like really, really, really shiny. Now, if you think that's not enough shine, check this out. See? Shiny, like Gino's head. Now at the back, you are still undoubtedly looking at that Xpander, but again, like the side, with a lot more stuff. This glossy black garnish, of course, the huge Xpander Cross badge, the faux skid plate like up front, combination of LED tail lamps, and of course a working center fog lamp. Now, when you open her up, you're looking at 150 liters of space, roughly, with the third row up. Now, when you fold the third row, that's over 1,600 liters of space. That's in the realm of the Montero, and not bad considering the size of this car. And if that still isn't enough for you, there are huge cubby holes found under here on the false bottom. They're huge, but really not enough wax to carry what Gino needs to put on his dome. Now in the third row, as you would guess, not much space. Really, it's kind of tight. But the good thing is the second row does slide forward if you ask nicely enough. Tita, para kang pumayat. Also back here, you've got bottle holders and a 12-volt socket. But the beauty about being in these seats back here is that the second row tumbles forward, so ingress and egress is really not a problem. Now we should mention that there's leather seats all over the Xpander Cross, which is actually a great thing. It's two-tone too, that breaks it really, really nicely apart from the all-black interior. It's much better than the regular Xpander. Now these do lean towards the durable side, but still, hey, leather goes the long way. Headroom and legroom is actually pretty excellent. You can fit 3 people in here, sure, not a problem, but better for 2. Other than the air vents up on top, there really aren't any toys back here, just bottle holders and speakers on either door. Now this may be nitpicking, but it takes 2 hands, yes, 2 hands, to deploy the center armrest, which is really kind of weird, but not necessarily a bad thing, since when you put it down, you have access to the third row. Creepy. The familiarity continues when you're in the driver's seat. It's really the same dashboard, but it's now a bit more dashing, thanks to its 2-tone color scheme that isn't really leather, but you won't notice it that much. Now, apart from that, you get 2 analog gauges that flank a display for your trip computer, buttons on your steering wheel for your audio and your cruise control, a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system that doubles as your reverse camera, dials for uncomplicated air, a 12-volt socket, USB port, auxiliary jack, no, not that jack, and cubby holes as far as the eye can see. We're really not joking because there are so many storage spaces in the Xpander that counting them is in a segment on its own. You've got storage here, 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 And more at the back. I swear, if anybody tried to hide stuff in this car, it would disappear like a black hole. The Xpander Cross comes equipped with driver and front passenger airbags, ABS with EBD, active stability control, traction control, hill start assist, emergency stop signal, and ISOFIX tethers. On the road with the rugged Xpander, and it's all too very familiar, not necessarily in a bad way. The steering is still so very light, the visibility is absolutely great, and the engine, well, the engine does take some time to get going, but once you are at speed, it's actually quite peppy. It isn't that fast. There's only 100 horses under the hood, and it shows when you bury your right foot and the noise starts creeping in from the engine. Yeah, wind noise, road noise, yeah, you'd expect that, but the engine noise is a little bit much. NVH, I'd say, is really just fair, nothing spectacular. I wish they had worked on that a little bit more. But other than that, driving it in a normal manner, in a proper manner really, it's an enjoyable drive. Now, going over bumps, it does get a little bouncy. Yes, it does. It truly does. It's not an inflatable castle with 700 children inside. No, not at all. But it does get a little bouncy. When you turn, however, the steering wheel seems to stay the course. So yeah, you will want to keep both hands on the steering wheel at all times. Driving the Xpander Cross, you'll notice that you've got very large panes of glass, whether it's up front in the driver's seat or in the second row or in the third row, and it's absolutely great because it allows so much natural light to come in, and I absolutely love that fact because, well, in a smaller car you want as much space as possible, and if you don't, well, you want as much light as possible so you don't feel claustrophobic, and that is one thing I love about the Xpander. So the question is it a worthy sequel to the massively popular Xpander? Well, not exactly. See, it's not an entirely new model, but it's not ignorable at the same time. Basically, Mitsubishi took one of the better selling vehicles and slapped on as much stuff as they could on it, like leather seats and better safety equipment. But those things do come at a premium. And that premium is 1,255,000 Philippine pesos. A bit steep, yes, I understand. But if you think about it this way, it is the most well-equipped and high-end Xpander that you can get your hands on. So it's not necessarily a sequel. It's more an expanded cut. Whoa! Shut up, Earl. It's your joke. Shut up! Come here, little